Good evening and welcome to Talking with Dr. Susie Jones. Today we are so happy to have our in-studio guest, it's Al McWheel, and we have some call-in guests on the line. Tonight's show is going to be about songs for the nation. As we all know, our nation is in a turmoil right now. But a lot of times the music ministers to the whole nation, and we have some beautiful songwriters tonight and talented songwriters tonight from all different genres that's going to share with us some of the songs that they have written for the nation. And before we get started, we just would like to have a word of prayer. Father, as we come tonight, we thank you, first of all. We give you glory, we give you honor because you are God. We don't just thank you for what you do, but we praise you and worship you because of who you are. We pray that tonight radio broadcast will touch our listeners, will encourage them as they listen to the songs and they listen to the lyrics, dear God. It will minister to them and stick with them. So we thank you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen and thank God. Well, I have one of our guests is already on the line, and he's been waiting for some time, and we're just going to bring him in, and I'll introduce him after he comes on the line, and that's Mr. Bertram McKinney.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm fine, Bertie. It's so good to have you to call in and to share with us about your song. And now, Bertie, we want to, first of all, let our listening audience know what particular genre of music that you specialize in.
It is gospel hip-hop. I do gospel rapping for the Lord.
Gospel hip-hop. Now, you have written a special song, a song which you sent to me, and you were blessed to have featured on the song one of our renowned artists and very talented artist, none other than Pastor Wes Morgan. And we're going to play that song right now. It is entitled Miracle, and it is featuring Pastor Wes Morgan, and this was written by none other than Bertram McKinney. Let's listen at this song, and then we're going to come back to you, Bert, okay?
All righty.
Yeah. Anybody that's out there wondering, if you hadn't heard, God's love is truly undeniable. You need to try. He can save you. The bigger the test, the greater the blessing. I know it get hard, but why are you stressing? Just trust in the Lord without any question. Repent of your sins, you want confession. In all of thy ways, acknowledge the Father. When it go and get hard, the Father go harder. He'll make a way for his sons and his daughters. Have faith in the one that walked on the water. Better believe his job he was on it. Heal the poor lady that touched on his garment. He'll be your help, that's if you want it. Dark in the night, but there's joy in the morning. Go and get up, God keep you going. Answers to life, he's already knowing. Healing hearts, ones that are broken. Changing minds with words that are spoken. His miracles know no boundaries. Put his hand on a man and cure disease. Rebuke the wind and calm the seas. When I was lost, he rescued me.
And I gotta let you know, nothing's impossible. God can save your soul. He can save your soul. Truly reliable, love undeniable. If you're trying to grow, you really need to try more. And I gotta let you know, nothing's impossible. God can save your soul. He'll work a miracle. Nothing's impossible. Truly reliable, love undeniable. If you're trying to grow, you really need to try more.
The greater the struggle, the bigger the breakthrough. Have trust in the Lord and where he can take you. He's right by your side and he'll never forsake you. Died on the cross, shed blood to save you. He is the one to see when you're hurting. No matter the problem, the blood is still working. Protecting his people cause evil is lurking. All power is his, I know it for certain. Speak it and claim it, this is your season. God is faithful, he's never leaving. No doubt about the reason you breathe and saving us all, including the heat. Keeping you safe at night while you're sleeping. Always on watch cause the enemy creeping. All that are lost, he can reach him. God's the truth and you better believe him. Until the day that kingdom come. On heaven and earth that will be done. He is the king and he's second to none. I'll praise the Father, Spirit, and Son.
And I gotta let you know, nothing's impossible. I can save your soul. He'll work a miracle. Truly reliable, love undeniable. Love undeniable. I gotta let you know, nothing's impossible. I can save your soul. He'll work a miracle. Truly reliable, love undeniable. If you're trying to grow, really need to try more. You need to try.
Anybody that's out there, you need to try God. His love is undeniable. The Most High.
Now, you were just listening to the song Miracle, featuring a cameo part by Pastor Wes Morgan, and that was written by none other than Bertram McKinney. I just want to share with our listening audience, and for those of you that may be viewing on Facebook Live, you can, if you are my friend, Susie Jones, you can view it on my page, or you can view it on Eva Jackson's page, and Bertrand might have it on his page as well. But I happened to meet Bert at a showcase in Las Vegas, him and his wife, and they are two beautiful people. And what I really loved about Bert is that he really honored his wife and uplifted them, and they were such a good couple that supported each other and worked together. And I love to see that, especially in 2020, where married couples are working together. But he shared a little bit of his testimony with me. Now, Bert, you recently, not too long ago, a few months ago, relocated all the way from Mississippi to, let me say it right, Louisville. Did I say it right? Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes, ma'am. Louisville. Yes, ma'am.
Louisville, Kentucky. And you said that that was a move of faith, right? And part of the reason for your location was being in the music business, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And,
absolutely.
And since you have relocated from Mississippi to Louisville, Kentucky, your recording ministry has really taken off. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, ma'am. I can. So at the time when I was living in Mississippi, I wound up doing a showcase for a record label out here in Louisville. And the label that I'm signed to is Fresh Start Recording and Entertainment. And I was traveling back and forth from Mississippi to Louisville, and doing the recording and everything, it was going to be done out here. So that traveling, it was a lot. So basically, I reached out to my job in my 9 to 5. I'm a GameStop manager, and I reached out to them to actually check and see if they had anything available out here in the Louisville area. They did some checking into it or whatever and stuff, and they had something. They had something for me, so I moved right in. So it's just been a wonderful process. It's like God had his hands on the whole move. I was having trouble finding a house, before we even got out here. Mm-hmm. And the CEO of my record label, he let me know not to worry about anything. He actually had a place that he could put me up in, and he did so. And the CEO, his name is Archbishop Dr. Stephen M. Kelsey. That's my record exec, my CEO. So everything's just been working out. I feel like God has his hands on the whole thing, and it's been lovely.
So the move has really been a blessing. Now, how long have you been working in gospel hip hop? Because I have to tell you now, truthfully, I had to acclimate myself to gospel hip hop because I couldn't keep up with the cadence, for lack of a better word. Y'all move real fast when you're talking, but I kind of understand what your song says.
Yes, ma'am. For over 20 years, I've been rapping a long time, and it wasn't always gospel. Let me say that. I'd be lying if I said it was always gospel. But the thing about it is, God touched my heart, and when I was attempting to do secular music, nothing was working, and I felt real convicted by the words I was saying, and it was a lifestyle that I wasn't living. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I started to change what I was speaking about, what I was talking about, and what I was actually living, and including God in my music, doors just started opening up, like way beyond my imagination.
So you were kind of perpetrating. You were singing the other kind of rap and hip hop, exactly. Gangster rap about things that you really wasn't living, huh?
Trying to fit in. Trying to fit in with the world, trying to be popular. Just talking about money, women, cars, clothes, just different things like that, stuff that I was not living. That was not me. That was so far from the truth. I was trying to fit in, and the thing about it is the best relationship that anyone can have is a relationship with God. That's the best relationship, and it's like I wasn't getting it. And once I realized that, then, like I said, doors just started opening up, and it's unbelievable. It still doesn't seem real.
Okay, well, this song, Miracle, it is talking about salvation and getting to know Christ, having Christ in your life. How do you get your inspiration for your lyrics as a hip-hop artist?
Honestly, Dr. Jones, a lot of times, God will give me the words. I might hear a particular beat or some music, and I get up and just come up with something like the words that hit me. I woke up several times out of my sleep with song lyrics in my head, and I jot them down and find a beat for him and just start writing from there. He gives me all the inspiration and all the music. I can't take credit for any of it.
Now, tonight's show, we are dealing with songs for the nation. And, I mean, definitely that is one particular song that works well for the nation, because if all men would come into the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ and accept salvation that is so freely given to us, we know that the world would be a much better place. But something happened when you were writing this song that the Lord blessed you to meet up with Pastor Wes Morgan, and we know he is one of the outstanding artists.
Yes, ma'am. That happened crazy. It was so the minister of music at the church that I attend now, his name is Ira Rankins. And Ira, I came to find out that he knew Wes. And he always jokes around or whatever and stuff. And Dr. Jones, a couple of days before I spoke to Ira about the situation, my wife and I were talking, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be nice if I could do a song with Wes Morgan? Well, a few days pass by, we go to church and we see Ira, and he walks up to me, he's like, hey, man, I'd like to do a song with Wes Morgan. I'm like, yeah, right. He said, no, man. Wait a
minute. Now, you were just thinking out loud, right? And you spoke this.
This is something that my wife and I had spoke about. Like, I knew he knew. I heard he knew Wes Morgan, but I hadn't spoke to him about it.
So you were speaking it. You spoke it out into the atmosphere, though, right?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Okay. I see, words are powerful. Death and life are in the power of the tongue.
Absolutely. He came to me and said, how'd you like to do a song with Wes Morgan? And like I said, he likes to joke around a lot. So I'm like, yeah, right. So he was like, nah, give me a couple of days. So a few days passed by, and he came to me. He was like, well, man, I got in touch with Wes, and he wants to hear what you got. So let me get the song. I get it to him and stuff, and we'll go from there. So the song originally, it started off as a solo for myself. And, I mean, I'm good with I'm pretty decent with rapping or whatever, but singing, that's not my thing. So Wes actually heard the song, and he liked it, and he agreed to do it with me. And he sang the hook for me.
Okay, before we wrap this up, tell us a little bit about your record label, and do you have any future engagements, in various locations? Because like I said, we met in Las Vegas, Nevada, but are you going to be touring anywhere? How do we reach you on your social media outlets?
Okay. Right. The record label is Fresh Start Recording and Entertainment, based here in Louisville, Kentucky. As far as my social sites, anyone that's wanting to reach me, they can reach me on Facebook. Just look Bertrand McKinney. That's BERTRAND McKinney on Facebook. And my Instagram is the same thing, Bertrand McKinney on Instagram.
Okay.
As far as the touring right now, no, we're not anything particular set up at the moment, but I am working on my next single, and that's actually featuring my wife, who sings.
Oh,
so yes,
right.
ma'am, that's
because
the
I
next
haven't
single to
heard
come
her.
out.
I haven't heard her.
Actually, that's the one that I did perform it. That's the second song that I performed in Vegas, the Nothing in This World, where my wife came up on the stage and surprised me. So, yes, ma'am, that's the one.
And I'm still waiting, of course, on
Right.
Same God.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
in these last few seconds, since our show topic tonight is Songs for the Nation, if you were to write a new song that you feel would minister to the nation quickly, give me 5 seconds, what would that song be? What would the title of that song be?
Hold on to God's unchanging hand.
Okay.
Just to hold on. With everything that's going on, people are losing faith. Folks are scared. People are leaving church. And it's almost like, they're losing hope in God. And God hasn't quit. He's the same God that he's always been. So all we have to do is hold on to him and know in our hearts and have faith enough to understand that everything's going to be all right.
Same God. Well, Bert, I thank you so much for calling in for our listening audience and our viewing audience. We have been talking to Bertrand McKinney, who is now a resident of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm so happy to have met you, Bert. And of course, I told you that when we first met in Vegas that I hope for this to be a long-standing relationship. I love your spirit.
Yes,
I love the way you and your wife work together. And I would say continue on. And remember, when Same God comes out, you know what you're supposed to do with it where I'm concerned. So thank you very much for calling in, Bert. And remember, for those of you that have been listening, that was Miracle featuring Pastor Wes Morgan by none other than Bertrand McKinney. We love you, Bert, and take care. We're so happy to have been speaking with Bertrand McKinney. We do have another artist that is supposed to call in. I don't think is he on the line? No, he's on the line. Well, right now, we do want to share with you that if you are in need, and I'm just doing this because she's always helping people, and I just want to let you know, if you are in need of insurance, and friends, saints, we need to be covered in life and in death. And if you do not have burial insurance or life insurance policy, you need not look any further. Just contact Eva J. She can set you up with Prime America. And you all know how much we go through taking up these collections, doing this car wash, these GoFundMe page. Why? All because that loved one did not have life insurance or burial plan. And so I beseech you, by the mercies, contact Eva J for your policy She serves you with Prime America life insurance. And if you give her a call, she can explain it to you, and I guarantee you won't regret it. Now, we have another in-studio guest that I am so very proud that I have the opportunity to have an in-depth interview with her. Now, this young lady, she is in a particular genre that you don't hear too often, called country gospel. And if you have never heard her, you are missing out. I know you're listening and you're viewing on Facebook and you say, I've never heard country gospel. Not black people. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And this sister is dynamite. She even dresses the part, but she wears some tough boots. Now, you know, this is the season for boots, but these are not just regular cowboy boots. These are some bad boots, and she got plenty of styles. Her attire, her hat, everything. And it is my privilege and my pleasure to bring to you my special in-studio guest, Al McWill. Good evening, Al.
Good evening. How are you?
I am doing fine. I am doing fine. It's so wonderful to talk to you. When I first heard about you, Al, talking about country gospel, and I said, no, I haven't heard of a country gospel singer. Well, that was intriguing to me,
right,
that you sing country gospel, and you have a song for the nation, and we're going to listen to your song for the nation. It's entitled Pray for Our Nation, and if we ever needed prayer, we need prayer right now. We're going to stop, take a listen to this selection right now. Pray for Our Nation by Al McWill.
Lord, I pray for our nation. It's in a bad situation. Lord, we haven't been true. We forgot the golden rule. The purple mountain majesty above the fruity plain, and God has blessed America, and His grace still remains. Lord, we haven't been true. We forgot the golden rule. Our children, their future, it lies in our hands. Oh Lord, hear our plea. Forgive us and heal our land. Where will the church be upon the horizon? Maybe somewhere still having a fake revival. Lord, we haven't been true. We let them take prayer out of school. Devastation
as I was listening to that song, you could kind of tell that you were really pleading that it needs to be prayer.
Oh, yeah.
For our nation. And when I received this song, we were nowhere near pandemic. Nowhere near pandemic.
Well, you know what, Sister Dr. Susie? This song was written when George Bush and Gore had that. Remember when the ballot boxes came up missing in Florida?
I remember Florida. I remember.
This song started then.
That's why every time we vote, I watch Florida.
And I didn't finish it until 9/11. So I finished this song at the time of 9/11, and to be very honest with you, I didn't consider myself to be anywhere near patriotic. So, but what I do, I always, if I hear something and God is speaking, I stopped on the side of the road, and the Lord said, "Are you really giving me a patriotic song?" Mm-hmm. Lord, I'm not. He said, "Just right." And I never will forget, I was on the phone, my sister and I were talking, I was saying, you know what, I pray for our nation. It's in a bad situation. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. There's more going on than me just speaking. Mm-hmm. And when I pulled to the side of the road, I just wrote what he gave me. After 9/11, I finished it. But the part that bothered me the most is when the Lord gave me, "And where will the church be upon your arrival?" Maybe somewhere still having a fake revival. My thought was, whoa, people are going to get mad.
Wait a minute. Say, wait. Say that again. Say that again.
"And where will the church be upon your arrival? Maybe somewhere still having a fake revival." And I'm thinking, Lord, that is cold. And a friend of mine told me, he said, don't worry. People that listen to it will automatically think it's the church down the street. But now coming forward, how do I see this now?
Yeah,
I see it as prophetic now that I look and we talk about the church and the people that consider themselves to be the ones that represent the Christians. And when it comes down to fighting for pro-life, but you're not really pro-life. You're pro-life as long as the baby is in the womb. But when black men and black people are being shot down in the street, now you're not pro-life. Mm-hmm. You're not the church either. Well, because if you're the church, then you care about all life. Mm-hmm. All life. You want to say all lives matter, then all lives should matter. Mm-hmm. But don't become pro-life when it's abortion, but you're not pro-life when black men are getting shot down like dogs in the street. So when I think about writing this song, mm-hmm. I see now the fake revival. Because mm-hmm. I watch TV evangelisms on TV, and I'm thinking, you guys speak about everything, but nobody wants to say anything mm-hmm. about African American people that are being shot down the street like dogs. And I said, Lord, I need you to help me with this because I'm struggling. How do I see this? And the Lord told me, he said, first of all, do not look for me in Democratic or Republican. I am that I am.
I am that I am.
I said, but where do I begin? He said, start with the ones that will help the least, and that's the poor.
And you seem like you took on a boldness with this song.
Oh, I did because it was personal for me, mm-hmm. And it didn't really get personal until about 2 years ago, when I began to start looking at just how we were being shot down, the way we were being treated, and then because I'm urban country gospel, mm-hmm. I've been at a lot of the different, should I say, the other side of a lot of different race stuff,
venues.
Those venues, and the way I've been treated because of that. Because, it was one thing to be African American and Christian, but it was another thing to be accepted in those arenas.
Okay, because you were going into country.
Exactly. I was in Nashville. Yes.
A certain discrimination.
Oh, God, yes,
okay.
Definitely.
Just because you're going in country, that was one discrimination. Then
Christian was another one.
Okay, Christian was
White
another.
Christians was
That's
another
two.
one.
That's two. And then 3, a woman.
Yes.
African American woman.
And a woman with a voice. Because see, not
scared to use it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And see, I almost died like 30 years ago having my baby. They gave me 72 hours to live. Went in for a pre-planned cesarean section. They nicked my bowel, but they said all the 8 holes they made in my body, I would never close up, but I don't have a bag or anything. So when you almost die and don't, you're a fool not to be sold out. So you can't be sold out and be quiet.
And that's right.
It just doesn't work.
And you don't have nothing to be scared of either.
No, I don't have any fear because I have truth, and I understand that what God is doing is he's just calling his people, black, white, blue, or brown. And as I began to look around and I was working on this song, I'm like, Lord, do I really need to say something about the nation? That was long before any of this stuff happened.
Long before any
And let
of
me be
this.
honest, my thought was, ain't nobody gonna listen to this song. Lord, really? Are you okay? I'm just gonna write it to be obedient. I'm just
You
because
and
I've
God
learned.
was really having a conversation, huh?
Oh my God, my life is like that every day. You know, that like everybody's going crazy because the church is closed. Church ain't closed for me. Church has never closed because I am the church.
Right.
When I wake up at 4:00 in the morning, I'm having church all day long. So I'm with God all the time. So I'm listening to this song and I'm saying, Lord, this was prophetic. This is that you spoke back then. Right now.
Yeah, years ago. And see, that's what I tell people about. They say, well, where were the prophets when this pandemic happened? Nobody prophesied. I say, yeah, prophets did speak. But because they didn't speak the month before the pandemic.
Thank you.
You know, some people spoke 10 years ago. Some people spoke 20 years ago.
But let's be honest. People only hear from prophets what they want to hear anyway. When prophets tell us the truth, most of the time we don't believe it. And we only want to hear how much money we're going to get. And we only want to hear how blessed we're going to be. There are people that, and it's interesting because there are people that God has had me give a word to, and as long as I was confirming what they wanted to hear, they were fine.
Right.
But when the word came and they didn't like it, they turned a deaf ear and they don't even talk to me anymore.
Yeah, because see, there's a time where God can give you a prophetic word, but it doesn't mean that you walk in the office of a prophet.
Yep.
And that's what people don't realize.
Exactly. But most of the time, people are not really. Bishop Kenny Ulmer said something a long time ago. He said, people only want enough of God to get what they want him to do.
I believe that.
So people talking about what prophets didn't tell them. I'm from old school. Old school said you need to know God for yourself.
Right.
See, I'm not worried about what a prophet didn't tell me. I have a direct communication with God. And the Lord has given me insight. Whether the people like it or not, he just dismissed church because we were too busy playing church and we weren't really being where he needed us to be. So he said, okay, everybody go home. And I ain't mad. I'm good.
Well, you know, I had a friend because we just came out of 15 days of consecrated prayer.
Okay.
Because we're celebrating our 15th church anniversary.
Congratulations.
And so thank you. So I had a friend, a bishop friend of mine. He said, the church has been saying for the longest, God is doing a new thing. God is doing a new thing. Get ready because God is doing a new thing. Then when he did a new thing, everybody got mad.
Exactly. Because you know what? Because most of us do not live in relationship with God. We live off the relationship that other folk have with God. So we go to church and we wait for the praise team to tell us to praise. Then we wait for the bishop, the pastor, the apostles to tell us what to do. Well, guess what? God said, okay, everybody go home and you're going to get to know me for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a true fact. But now, I never realized, and of course, we never think about that being in a genre such as country gospel music, that there would be a discrimination.
Oh, God, yeah.
About that.
Well, think about this. Remember Quincy Jones said that when he was coming up, they wouldn't even let African-American people arrange the string sections. It's always been like that. And if you understand our music, think about cowboys. They didn't call white men boys. They called black men boys. So cowboys, cow songs, country music came from black people. So I see like this, that the only thing the Lord has done when he gave me country gospel, and then later he sent Stevie Wonder to confirm that it was urban country gospel. When he gave me that because he told me, he said, family structure is breaking down. And I need my ways and my means to continue. So I'm giving you this genre that you might sing about topics that are too sensitive for folk to talk about.
But now, not only the discrimination amongst other cultures, how has it been with your own? Black? I mean, because like I said, Wait a minute. Like I said, we're not used to country gospel singers. You know, that I would say is not the norm, and I deal a lot with different types of music and stuff. So,
How have they received it?
Yeah.
You know what? The late Bishop Al Hobbs was such a wonderful advocate for me.
Oh, yes.
He
now, Al was for
Dr.
it.
Bobby Jones, Kathy Hughes, Cedric Bailey, people like you. I've had more people to accept me than I have that have not.
Wait just a minute. Now, for those in our viewing audience and our listening audience, those names that she just mentioned, those are major movers and shakers in the gospel music industry, except for Al Hobbs. God bless his rest his soul. He is going on home to be in the Lord. But Al Hobbs was major.
Yes.
He was the chairman of the Gospel Announcers Guild.
Yes.
Formerly known as the GAG. Now it is known as the Alliance of Gospel Music Professionals.
Okay.
He was well known, and he was the chairman for 40 years. And Kathy Hughes, you know Kathy Hughes of TV One, you know Stevie Wonder, and all these names. So, and especially Dr. Bobby Jones, our ambassador, Bobby Jones.
Yes.
And Cedric Bailey. I mean, a beautiful gentleman.
Mike Chandler.
Mike Chandler.
God has sent me. I have no complaints. As the Lord would say, I find no fault. I have been well received. And I think what I do is I really only think about the ones that have received it, because God does not allow me to give anybody any time that hasn't. When he say, let them that have ears hear what the Spirit is saying.
Yes.
I've dealt with the ones that have heard what the Spirit has said, and they have embraced me. I've just been blessed.
And I think that's what we need to focus on. A lot of times we focus on the non-acceptance, then focusing on the acceptance. And
well, let me tell you something. The biggest problem I had was me. I didn't want to accept it.
Oh, you didn't want to accept?
No.
Because that's where God specifically led you into doing urban country gospel.
And I fought it for, look, my thing was, I love the Lord. He heard my cry. I grew up with that.
Dr. Watts.
But when I began
any young people listening, that's called a Dr. Watts.
Right. But then I understood. I love the Lord. He heard my cry, pitying my every groan. Long as I live, as trouble rise, I'll haste unto his throne.
And Al, you sound just like a country gospel singer. And I know that might be silly to say, but how did you get that tone, that sound?
Listen,
it's just like country.
I worked all my life to get that nasal sound out of my voice. I hated it. I wanted to sound like Barbara Streisand. I wanted to sound like Aretha Franklin. And one day the Lord said, you cannot lose what I've given you. And he sent a Stevie Wonder to confirm the gift. I said, Steve, God said I'm a country gospel singer. And when I played the song for him, he said, Alice, you got to call it urban country gospel so nobody can tell you what it has to sound like.
Okay.
And from that day, for the next 8 years, I didn't even understand how miraculous it was that Stevie Wonder picked up the phone every time I called. If I was frustrated, and he walked me through it, and he told me something so profound. He said, work on this until it feels good to you. He didn't tell me to work on it until it feels good to him, and he would let me know when it was right. He said, work on it till it feels good to you. And when it feels good to you, then others will like it.
But now you went in a genre that you didn't want to go. Most people, when they start out in a singing career or they're recording, that's because that's what they want to do.
But remember, I told you I almost died. I almost died before I accepted the genre.
Okay.
So the prerequisite to accepting the genre was death. Come on now.
Oh.
I had to die to be ready to hear what the Spirit was saying. And after I went through that phase of dying, literally, they gave me 72 hours to live, and the bandages and everything that I went through, by the time I came out, I was ready to do whatever God wanted me to do.
Whatever you needed to do.
And that's when he gave me urban country gospel.
Well, how many other colleagues do you have in urban country gospel?
Oh, wow. None. You mean anybody else that's singing urban country gospel?
Yeah, any other African American that might be.
I don't have any. I've met a few women that were singing country, but they were not singing the combination. The combination for me, I call it the best of both worlds. It's the gospel, and it has a twang, but it also has an R&B flavor with it.
Okay.
And I haven't met anybody else that's doing it.
So really, country is the sound.
Country really is the story and some of the sound.
Okay, the story and some of the sound.
Right.
Gospel is the message
The
of what
foundation.
you're singing.
There you go.
Okay.
There's always a story to it. But one of the songs is, "Oh no, you can't change the hearts and minds of man. Oh no, you can't do it. Only God can. That man has a free will. He can do whatever he wants to do. Oh, you can't change the hearts and minds of a man."
And when I heard you, and also I have to say, Al McWheel has been to my church.
Yes.
And she has sung, and we just loved her. Well, first of all, I was amazed because it was urban country gospel. Then I loved it because of the message, the story, and the music. It all sounded good. Now, you do all of it. You do the composing, the arranging.
Yeah. And guess what? I don't play an instrument. All I do is hear. I'll be riding down the street. I'll get a melody in my head, and then I'll say, "Lord, if this is something, is there something that you want to say to your people? And if so, do you want me to write it?" And he'll just start giving me words, and I didn't even know I was a writer. I didn't even know what an intro was. I didn't know anything about writing. All I knew, I got a word from God. You know what happened?
What happened?
My mom and my dad went through a divorce. And the way my mom handled the divorce was so great, I wrote a poem. Every place you go, you're loved and admired. Friends come easy, for by you they are inspired. Always a shoulder and a smile you lend. You're a mother to so many, and you're also a wonderful friend. Leonard Caston, who wrote Keep On Truckin' for Eddie Kendricks,
Okay.
a friend of mine told me to take it to him because we were going to do this program for my mom and we needed a song. And I kept saying, "Well, I don't have a song, Lord. I have a poem." The Holy Spirit said, "Sing this poem to the beat of Tonight Is the Night." I said, "Now, Lord, you know I love Candy State." And I began to sing, "Every place you go, you're loved and admired. Friends come easy, for by you they are inspired. Always a shoulder and a smile you lend. You're a mother to so many, and you're also a wonderful friend. Hey, mama, there's a crown guaranteed in heaven waiting on you."
Now, wait a minute. You know what I always say? A true test of any singer is that they can sing a cappella. If you can't sing a cappella, you're not a true singer.
Well, I'm Baptist. You know Baptists have to sing with no music. But that was it. And that was the first time I ever sang a song that I had written.
And you sung it just like that, country.
Just like that. It came out just like that. And Leonard Caston told me, he said, "You know, you got something here." I said, "Oh, no, I ain't got nothing. That's just a song for my mama for this program. That's all it is."
Well, have you ever considered that you would probably be, because I always like for people to think big and think positive, you know, does the CMAs have a country gospel category?
No. And let me tell you what was interesting. We actually, it was really a blessing for us. There's a guy that was head of a major artist, I won't call his name, a major country artist station. And I went to Nashville, and I got a standing ovation at the Bluebird Cafe, and which is like well known in country.
Okay.
And
that would be like what? Compared to the House of Blues out
Exactly,
here? Okay.
exactly. And he was just telling me, he said, for those people to receive you that well was phenomenal. But he worked for a major country artist, and he told us, he said, more than likely they're not open. And my sister told him, God did not give her this gift for a group of people to decide what she can sing and what she can't sing. So right now, what am I doing? I'm working on my own podcast, doing my own show, putting my own music out there. If they go to Al McWill, go to any of the platforms, they can get any of the music on Amazon, iTunes. They can get Urban Country Gospel, Al McWill, on any of the platforms. And we'll be doing a podcast coming up soon.
Well, that's That's good. Well, do you ever have any other artists or any proteges that you are mentoring, like have come up to you and say, I wanted to do country gospel, or I wanted to do country music, but I was kind of scared. I didn't know how to get into it.
I've had people come to me, and I've been able to help other people walk through what they need to do. But I've been blessed too, because one of the new songs that's coming out, Doug Williams is doing one of my songs with me.
Of the Williams brothers.
Yes, of the Williams brothers.
Okay.
And I'm excited about that, because not only have I helped other people, but there's people that have helped me. Melvin and Doug and Henry Green, they are like family to me. And so being able to do one of the songs, when I sent it to Doug, and I was hoping it would be good enough for him to do it. And when he came back and he told me he would do it, when he left the studio, he called me. He said, I couldn't shake that song. It stayed with me. So that was a major compliment for me.
Well, as of now, the day and the time that we in. Now, I know you have this song, Pray for Our Nation, but do you have any other songs that would be fitting for such a time and season that we're living in?
Now, let me tell you what's interesting about you saying. There's this song that says, been doing wrong for so long. Everybody think wrong is right. All we do is argue, fuss and fight. Now the mama taught the children and the daddy taught the son. It may be wrong, but this is how it's done. It's been wrong. We've been wrong for so long. Everybody think wrong is right.
It just amazed me how you can just go right on into the song. I mean, and the different surroundings and everything. And so
I've been working on that, because I'm looking at these people. Results have come in, but they've been wrong. They've lived this lie for so long that they have really made themselves believe that wrong is really right. And it's incredible that you can do it for so long. And I just feel like that's just one of the songs right now that, that's one of the ones that we're working on.
Apropos.
Oh, God, yes.
For right now.
Been doing it so long. You've been walking on folks. You've had your foot on our neck for so long. You don't think we're supposed to say anything. Mm-hmm. You think it's okay.
So, in the season we're in this pandemic, how has it affected your musical career for urban country gospel?
It's been great, because what happens is when you walk in relationship with God, you're always birthing something in a hard time. When you're pressed, the best wine comes out.
That's it.
So this has been a good, one of the other songs that I've been doing is called If the Lord don't help me, I can't stand the storm. And that's
another old Dr. Watt.
Yeah. But it's been pressing. So through this time of famine and through this rough time, I've just gotten closer to him, and I feel like my best is coming forth, because I wasn't as pressed to do a podcast and to do any of this before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. So this storm that has come has pressed me into my best oil.
So the pandemic, because I said, I wrote an article about 3 things that the pandemic demanded from us. And that was 1, it demanded respect of its existence, and 2, it gave us a reality check of everything that was around us, and then 3, it caused us to recreate our normal.
Yes.
And so in recreating your normal, of course, innovation and creation are going to be your best friend.
Yes.
And this is the time that creativity can really be birthed, and innovation can really go forth. Now, with the urban country gospel, and I want to say this quickly, for those that are listening and for those that are watching, you have been listening to Al McWill, which is an urban country gospel artist. And you can see that when you have a gift to do something, all you have to do is walk in your purpose, walk in your gift. God will open doors for you. But you can't wait on people to point out your gift.
Right. You
And
can't
so
wait.
it's like the scriptures say, your gift will make room before you and bring you before great men.
Yes.
As we are wrapping up, what is it that you would like to say in regards to urban country gospel that your gift has taken you into places and what you are doing with it now?
What I would like to say to encourage somebody is that this is a great time to get to know God for who He's called you to be. And because I've found my way back to Him through my deepest pain, He has revealed Himself to me. And I woke up and I was in Bobby Jones. I woke up and I was with the Williams brothers because I chose not to live life in the darkness of my pain, but to look through my pain and ask God, what do you need me to see in this? What do you want me to get out of this? So I used the pain of my life for wings to go higher, to look to the hills where my help was coming from, so I could gain stamina and spiritual strength to know who I am and have a consciousness to be who He called me to be.
And it didn't matter about people laughing. It didn't matter about people saying,
family,
oh,
yeah.
they're not going to accept
Yes.
that. And,
It didn't matter what I was telling myself, because I'm telling you, I was my worst enemy.
You had to talk to your
I had to talk to myself because my thought was it didn't make sense. I felt, Lord, you done fell off the throne. Why would I need to sing something different? So I was my get out of your own way. If there was anything I would want to impress upon you tonight, move out of your own way. Move from those limitations that you've given yourself. I blocked myself.
All right. All right. So therefore, we learn not to block ourselves. And as I often say, when God created us, He created us with an inherent greatness. He told us, be fruitful and multiply. Fruitful is to be productive. Multiply is to increase it. And so tonight you have been listening to our in-studio guest, urban country gospel artist Al McWheel, with her featuring her song Pray for Our Nation. But as she as already stated, you can reach her on all media outlets.
Yep.
Social media outlets, Al McWheel, and you can get her music.
iTunes, Amazon, all of those platforms as well.
And all those platforms as well. Once again, it has been a pleasure being with you. We thank Bertram McKinney for calling in. Michael Boykin, he was supposed to call in, but we know how things will come up. I want to thank the executive producer, Eva J. And of course, I've been so happy to be your host. Meet us here every third Sunday, and then also we'll be here on the fifth Sunday. It's my privilege and my pleasure. I am your host, Dr. Susie Jones. God bless you.
Hey family, this is Lady Eva J. I wanted to take this time to have a serious conversation with you. I have been given a new assignment to touch the world in a different way. Our lives have all been shifted in this